Today we're going to make a sweet, sour and spicy fish stew inspired by the wonderful flavors of the Peruvian ceviche. The whole thing cooks in less than 20 minutes and you can almost use any kind of fish. So let's do it. First things first, instead of the tiger's milk, we make a tiger's paste for our stew. Pesto mortar, and to that we add some habaneros or any chili you want to use. Just to help us get started. There you go, straight in. And to that we add a bit of ginger. And ginger and fish works extremely well, especially it has the ability to tame any unwanted fishiness. If you're doing a large portion, you can do this whole thing in a food processor to make life easier for yourself. A bit of garlic. And like I said many times, the more you do here, the less you do there. So it's up to you. And finally, the hero of the tiger's milk, in my opinion, an incredibly generous amount of coriander stalks. A bit of leaf is okay, so I'm not gonna try to fish out the leaves. We'll save this for garnish later, and just for some friction, very generous amount of salt. If you have unwaxed lime, this would be a very good time to add some zest, but unfortunately today this is waxed, so lime juice later. And you go. This combination of coriander root and habaneros is just, it smells incredible. Same ingredients in the summer, make a ceviche. In autumn, in winter, make a fish stew. A gift keeps on giving. One advantage of the pesto and mortar is that when you use this grinding function, you really puncture the cell membranes after chili, after coriander, after garlic, after ginger, releasing a lot more flavors into the paste than you would a sharp blade. Alright, once you have a paste-ish consistency, or when your arms are tired, we add the other star of the show, besides the coriander, the ají amarillo chili. Of course, if you have the real deal, even better. But it's very easy to buy them online nowadays, and they're extremely storage friendly. They bring this wonderfully unique brightness to the dish that I always associate with a good ceviche. And I love this ingredient, so very ridiculously generous amount goes in, and we can switch from pounding to mixing. This is either paste or puree, depending on how you want to define those terms. And we can cook. So, what I like to do is that I heat up just a tiny layer of water to first cook out the paste. Then we could add more liquid. And while that's heating up, to introduce some sweetness, we're going to add a bit of sweet potato. This is the magic ingredient that would also act as our thickener. But first, the water's boiling, so we add our paste. Oh, the smell is incredible. Because all we need to cook is the sweet potato before we poach the fish, I like to dice them quite fine, just to make cooking faster and easier. That's plenty. Straight in. I mean, in terms of cooking, they took the longest. And later, we'll blitz this to thicken our cooking liquid. And you can use any sweet vegetable for this. If you don't have sweet potatoes, use parsnips, use carrots, good carrots that is. I find even in a ceviche, I like a hint of sweetness to balance the flavors. And for that, I normally use some dried fruit. That's plenty. And we cover with just enough liquid. Lid on. And we simply cook them until they're softened. I'll see you then. All right, after about 5-10 minutes, we're ready. Look at how beautiful this is. Of course, we taste to see whether the potato has softened. Oh, the flavors are amazing. In this case, definitely yes. So, stove off, grab whatever blender mixer you have, and we want to fish out most of the solids. It's a rustic stew after all, so a tiny bit of sweet potato. It's not gonna matter. In fact, it will provide a bit of contrasting texture. Perfect. Now, if you're using a small blender like me, a very good way to avoid explosion later is that I'm going to add cold water to this to cool it down, because we'll be needing water to poach the fish anyway. Brilliant. Now we can blitz. Perfect. Needs a thickener. Be a tiny bit careful still when you open this. Now stove back on, and this wonderful liquid goes in. Look at that. Look at the consistency. And of course, if you want something thicker, use more sweet potato. And we can balance that with a bit more lime later. Just look at this, it's like a carrot soup. Now all we need to do, we poach whatever fish you fancy. For us, cod, some mackerel, oily fish works really well with the strong flavors. Trout. You want to lower the heat so that it's just simmering. Scallops. And because this beautiful liquid now has a thick consistency, it's important that you move everything around slightly to prevent the bottom from catching. But just look at this color. You would have thought I added turmeric, I added saffron, but no, just a chili paste. And we simply give it 3-4 minutes for the fish to warm through. If you have a probe, even better. You want the thickest part of your thickest fillet to hit around 55 degrees Celsius, and the residual heat would bring it to perfection. Now, since we have the emulsification of the fish liquid, this is technically a hot tiger's milk. So you taste your hot tiger's milk to adjust the seasoning. Whoa, this is so good. Wow. Okay, definitely a bit more salt. Woo! Went a bit crazy with the chili there, in a nice way. I mean, completely different genre, but a bit of Thai fish sauce would do wonders in this dish. Once everything is cooked, you're ready. So stove off, and to balance everything, we add a very generous amount of lime juice. When it comes to acid, it's very important you add it at the very end. Otherwise, it will just evaporate with the dish. So, extremely generous amount of lime juice. Mix once again. Taste. Oh, it's perfect. Now we can plate. This is so good. The texture, flavors. Oh my god. You can still see the heroes. Show, sweet potato. Incredible. Lime on the side. Tiny bit more coriander for garnish. And that's it. Sweet, sour, spicy, well balanced with a wonderful texture. This is fish stew with Peruvian ceviche flavors. I really hope you enjoy. And it's so tasty!